Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Thursday edition of NMH at 1. I am your host, Priska Agnolo, and thank you so much for joining us today. In our COVID-19 monitor, we look at daily averages for Namibia and health districts in the country. Usually we share this information on Fridays, but because of the long weekend ahead, we compare data for the last 6 days to the 7 days before. The national average of new cases per day dropped with only one, from 189 to 188. The second wave of infections in Namibia has not yet started to show a clear flattening of the curve. In future, such small decreases or increases will be shown as consistent with the previous period. An average change of 2 or more cases per day, in other words, more than 10 per week, will be considered as noticeable increases or decreases. For example, the average for the capital city of Windhoek only decreased from 38 to 37 per day, with similar small downward trends reported in the districts of Ashakati and Grootfontein. The situation in the districts of Swakopmund and Keetmanshoop also remains much the same. At 18, Rehoboth is now reporting the second highest daily average after Windhoek, followed by Opuwo with 17 and Mariental with 12. Most upsurges are caused by cases detected in high schools, with some being close to prevent spread to the community. The Hardap region has now surpassed the number of 2,000 cases in total. Increases are experienced in the districts of Tsumeb and Okakarara, while decreases are occurring in Rundu, Oshwarongo and Walvis Bay. For our first video segment for today, the Hans Seidel Foundation, also known as HSF Namibia, on Tuesday inaugurated the first pilot aquaponics system at the Aris Primary School under its Contributing to Food Security in Namibia initiative. The one-year project, funded by the Embassy of Finland to support improvement of local knowledge, skills and human capacity development in the field of climate-resilient aquaponics, was also handed over to the school to manage. Claudia Reita was there.
First, I'll start at the very end here. Let me just start here. What you're looking at right now is basically the grow bed where the plants are being planted. From the very end, then we've got the planting station where the seeds are being germinated first, and then they are transferred this way further. So what needs to happen is you've got to stagger the planting season, so once a week and delay, so that by the time the crops get here, you've got harvesting, but then more is growing to have a continuous harvesting cycle. The same with the fish tank. We've got the broodstock here, which is where they end up. They start back there with the breeding pair, then the fry, then you've got your fingerlings, and they're being transported from there to the broodstock tank basically. And the idea here is to make it easier for harvesting and that the kids can also learn it. So we've laid out the entire system from step 1 to the very end. We're going to have the pumps running continuously to circulate the water throughout the system, number 1. Number 2, we've got venturis, for example, in the tank with the technology to provide aeration in the system. Then we've got a thermometer that allows the temperature at a constant 29 degrees, because tilapia are tropical fish, and so they require warmer temperatures, number 1, for breeding, for activity and for growth. And in Aris, we are actually quite fortunate this winter because it gets quite colder than winter to experiment with the temperature, so that's a great advantage. So each tank has got its thermometer, venturi, that supplies the oxygen. Of course, you move the fish as they grow further.
These families are begging the Windhoek municipality and Mayor Job Amupanda to help them by installing a water point closer to the new location in One Nation informal settlement. At the moment, the nearest water point is only accessible by a long and narrow path that presents danger and makes it difficult to fetch enough water for their families every day. Jana Marie Smith compiled this insert.
All we want is just water. Help us with water, please.
We need water. We are tired of the way. It is very long and it's difficult there to pass there when we come here.
Mr. Job Amupanda, please, we are suffering here. Can you please do something for us? As a mayor, bring for us even a tank for water and a toilet.
Many Namibians take indoor plumbing for granted. But for these women, whose families were relocated to higher ground in January after heavy rains damaged their old homes, the daily task of fetching water requires walking along a difficult, narrow and at times dangerous footpath to the nearest water point situated in a neighboring settlement. When the river flows or it is dark, they are completely cut off from the water point. Although they also have no electricity or toilets, they are asking the municipality to install a closer water point, which will be enough for now, they say.
They say we are in a free independent country. We are not independent. We are still like you struggling. Those who have money, maybe they are free. We are not free. We are still using the riverbed as a toilet, as our toilet. They put us here as a new location because of the flood, but now they didn't even put water here to us. We are not free. Even the ambulance, if we sick during the day or during the night, the ambulance can't reach here. They must make it nice, they grab a lot nicely so that the car must reach here. Like you struggling too much.
There's no equality. There's no equality. As we want only water, only water and the roads and the toilet.
We need to be relocated, then they give us a nice place where there is no flood, where there is electricity, water, toilet, everything. Then we say we are in a free country. We are living in such a location where there is no water, no electricity, and no road. We are just suffering like this. They must do something so that our heart can feel happy and to remember that yes, our country is free. Yes, sometimes we are knock off late, then we came home, there's no water. We have to take a bucket of water and go to tap, and it's a long distance, and there is even a riverbed, a long riverbed where you can find a church, or you can even fall down with a bucket of water. Some of the women, they are pregnant and they are having small babies, and it's very difficult for them. Can you please do something for us?
Water is life. We need water. Corona, how can we wash our hands?
Ampanda netupomea. Yeah. Netupomea vangasha batero silongo ashishi.
No.
No mama. Oi. Netutala mea. Omea.
Yolanda now follows the gravel road to Kwetu between Okahanja and Usakos and experiences a farm stall like no other. Here she talks to owner Inge Geldenhuis, who still uses her grandmother's cake recipes. This is also your ideal stopover on your way to the coast this weekend, so do enjoy.
Vandag gesels ek hier met Inge Geldenhuis. Inge, vertel vir ons, wat gebeur hier so by jou perseel?
Hi, ons is 'n klein koffieshop en 'n plaaswinkeltjie. Ons het dit ingerig dat die mense hier rustig kan sit en 'n bietjie bedaar voor hulle die volgende pad aanvat. Die kinders het 'n jungle gym om te klim en 'n bietjie energie hier te los voor hulle weer in die kar moet klim. En natuurlijk het ons lekker koeken hier, mijn kaaskoek, mijn appelkoek. Voor die mensen wat een beetje meer wil hê, het ons ook lekker vastgebakte pijs. En dan is er natuurlijk alles wat in de plaaswinkel wordt plaasgemaakt, ingelegde groenten, ons het marmeladens en jam, ons het sap daar, ons het thuisgemaakte gemberbier natuurlijk, ons het water. Wat ons niet het is kook.
Dit is 'n baie goeie ding. Maar ek sien jy het ook 'n verskeidenheid kase.
Ja, ik heb mijn eigen melkpak en mijn eigen jerseybeeste. Daarvan wordt dan die kaas gemaakt en ook die room. Daar is natuurlijk, ik koop van die buren langs aan die wild op. En dan maken we ons lekker biltong en droge worst en droogvlees en chili bites. Also, dit is een echte plaaswinkel hier.
Baie dankie.
And now we look at the front pages of some of Namibia's newspaper dailies. Namibian Sun reports that Defence Minister Peter Vilho has confirmed owning a unit trust account with HSBC Bank in Hong Kong, which had a market value of 3.4 million Namibian dollars as of September 2020, but did not list it in the asset registry at Parliament as required by law. Vilho confirmed that he has had the offshore account for 12 years, but his submission of assets and sources of income at Parliament, which he signed on the 2nd of June 2020, does not reflect the account. Republican reports that Lady Pohamba Private Hospital's General Manager, Haneli Botha, says the medical facility is ready and just waiting for the Ministry of Health and Social Services to share the way forward with regards to government's rollout plan for immunizations in the Commerce region. The ministry has identified this hospital as well as Rhino Park in Windhoek as immunization sites. To date, the two hospitals have not performed any immunizations. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that President Hage Geingob announced yesterday during his State of the Corona Pandemic address that the number of people allowed to gather indoors or outdoors has been increased from 50 to 100. In addition, restaurants and bars are now allowed to serve alcohol until 10 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. However, the sale of alcohol on Sundays and public holidays is still prohibited. The previous curfew, which applies from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., also remains in force. The new measures came into effect at midnight last night and will remain in force until midnight on the 30th of April. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, Kalumbi Shangula, indicated that Namibians studying abroad will be exempted from the cost of COVID-19 tests to be taken on entry and exit if proof of study is provided. Frequent travelers who return to the country within 3 days of leaving Namibia will be allowed to re-enter with the negative COVID-19 test they used when leaving the country. Shangala further said, in addition, according to the minister, negative rapid antigen tests, known as AGRDT, for incoming travelers will be accepted at entry points in Namibia. The Namibian reports that fresh revelations linking Minister of Defense and Veterans Affairs Peter Vilho to an offshore bank account in Hong Kong have brought to the fore a decade-old corruption case which has haunted the former Navy commander for years. The case involves bank accounts in Hong Kong that were investigated as being part of alleged kickbacks linked to a 1.8 billion Namibian dollar arms tender for the Namibian government around 13 years ago. New Era reports that government is working hard to procure and secure additional COVID-19 vaccines as the country now aims to inoculate up to 80% of the population to reach coronavirus herd immunity. Namibia is yet to receive its procured vaccine doses sourced through the COVAX scheme with the United Nations-backed facility, only expected to deliver the doses within 3 weeks. At the moment, the country is administering the Chinese-donated Sinopharm vaccine to citizens under the age of 60, while the Covishield vaccine doses donated by the Indian government will be rolled out as of today. And moving on to the inside pages of the country's dailies. Namibian Sun reports that the Namibia Chamber of Mines is opposed to plans by the Ministry of Mines to auction exclusive prospective licenses known as EPLs due to the difficulty of determining accurate prices. There is currently a moratorium on mining rights applications, which was instituted last November and remains in place until the 17th of August 2021. Government was advised to auction off fishing rights and mining licenses by the high-level panel on the Namibian economy, led by Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gouwegab. Republican reports that government now obliges cell phone service providers to store clients' identity details and information regarding their communication habits after regulations for the applications of the Communications Act No. 8 of 2009 were published in the Government Gazette on the 15th of March 2021. The Algemeine Zeitung reports that Namibia is among the many African countries where children's lives have not yet improved despite economic growth over the years, said UNICEF Country Representative Rachel Odid of the United Nations Children's Fund. Odid pointed out that there are many reasons why children's lives have not improved, including the periodic natural disasters that countries experience, financial difficulties, capacity constraints, unequal distribution of resources, conflict and insecurity in some countries, as well as the lingering effects of the HIV pandemic. The Namibian reports that Popular Democratic Movement leader Mekhamri Venani says the government should stop discrediting the World Bank classification of Namibia as an upper middle income country and step up to develop the economy to fit this ranking. Venani said this when he challenged President Hage Geingoob's long-held position that the country does not qualify to be classified as an upper middle income economy. New Era reports that incoming Namibian Police Deputy Inspector General for Operations Joseph Shikongo has pledged to focus on joint operations, including patrols and investigations with neighboring countries to curb cross-border crimes. Shikongo, who served as Commerce Commander, was yesterday promoted to the rank Major General, replacing Major General Oscar Mbumbulu, who went on retirement. Police Chief Sebastian Detunga promoted Shikongo and also elevated Ismail Basson to the rank of Commerce Police Regional Commander with the rank of Commissioner. That is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Priska Agnolo, live for NMH at 1. Let us enjoy the slight new freedoms granted with changes in restrictions, but to stay safe as possible over the Easter holiday as well. Do stay tuned for the weather and goodbye, Namibia.